These are 10 historical pets you won't believe existed, from Roman emperors to ancient Egyptians. History is full of fascinating examples of unusual animal companions. Join us as we explore these extraordinary relationships between humans and animals throughout history. Let's get started. Number 10. Crocodiles. Crocodiles were revered as sacred animals in ancient Egypt and were kept at temples where priests would care for them. They were associated with the god Sobek and were believed to represent fertility and power. Crocodiles were also kept as pets by the nobility and were often given as gifts. 9. Royal cheetahs. During the Mughal era in India, cheetahs were prized possessions of the nobility. They were used for hunting and were also kept as status symbols. The cheetah's speed and agility made it a popular choice among hunters, and its sleek appearance was admired by all. 8. Emperor Elroul. The Roman Emperor Elagabalus was known for his love of exotic animals. He kept a menagerie that included tigers, lions, and panthers, which he paraded through the streets of Rome. These wild cats were a symbol of his power and wealth, and were often used in his military campaigns. 7. Queen Charlotte. In 1776, a zebra was sent to Queen Charlotte of Britain from Africa as a gift. The zebra caused quite a stir among the British elite who had never seen such an animal before. It was exhibited at the Tower of London, and people paid admission for the zoo by bringing cat or dog food to feed the zebra. Number 6. Louis XIV. During the reign of Louis XIV of France, there was a balding epidemic. The king was obsessed with his looks and reportedly used a wig made of real human hair. One day, Louis XIV received a gift from a French explorer, a porcupine. Intrigued by this strange creature, the king kept it as a pet at the Palace of Versailles. Number 5. Emperor Heliogabalus. The Roman Emperor Heliogabalus was known for his love of snakes. He kept poisonous snakes as pets and reportedly used them to play tricks on his courtiers. He even unleashed snakes into the audience at the gladiator games, causing widespread panic. One bizarre court ceremony involved throwing gold coins from a tower while riding on a chariot pulled by 8 elephants. Then he would pick up the coins with long hooks and give them to beggars. What? Number 4. Mozart. Mozart, the legendary composer, was said to have kept a pet starling that could mimic his music. The bird was reportedly so intelligent that it could recognize the notes and rhythms of his compositions and reproduce them accurately. Although there is no concrete evidence that Mozart had a pet starling, the story has become an enduring legend among music lovers. 3. President Calvin Coolidge. In 1928, a black bear was brought to the White House for President Calvin Coolidge, after his son John caught it in the woods. Despite the bear's size and strength, it became a beloved pet and reportedly roamed freely around the mansion, much to the amusement of the First Lady. The bear's presence in the White House caused quite a stir, but it was eventually returned to the wild after a few months. 2. Empress Josephine. Empress Josephine, the wife of Napoleon Bonaparte, had a particular fondness for exotic animals. She kept a kangaroo as a pet, along with other exotic creatures like monkeys, parrots, and dogs. The kangaroo was a rare sight in France during the early 19th century and was reportedly a source of fascination for Josephine. She also had her own private zoo where she kept a menagerie of other animals. Number 1. King George III. During the 18th century, King George III of England kept a pet elephant named Jumbo in the Royal Menagerie at the Tower of London. The elephant was a gift from the East India Company and was one of the first of its kind to be seen in England. Jumbo was a popular attraction and was paraded through the streets of London on special occasions. Now let's move on to some honorable mentions. They didn't quite make the cut, but are still fascinating examples of unusual pets throughout history. Peacock. In ancient Rome, pet peacocks were a symbol of wealth and luxury. The birds were prized by the upper classes and were often kept in aviaries within their homes. Roman poets and writers frequently mentioned peacocks in their works, praising their beauty and elegance. 2. Crane. Cranes were revered in ancient China and were often kept as pets by the royal family. The birds were seen as a symbol of longevity and fortune, and their graceful appearance made them a favorite among Chinese nobility. Marie Antoinette. The French queen Marie Antoinette was known to have kept a pet monkey that she dressed in elaborate outfits. The monkey was a gift from the King of Sweden and was reportedly well trained and able to perform tricks on command. Aztec jaguars were highly prized by Aztec noblemen, who kept them as both pets and religious symbols. The jaguars were often kept in temples where they were cared for by priests, and they played an important role in religious ceremonies and rituals. Tamed hyenas. Hyenas were tamed in Persia and were considered a rare and exotic pet. They were often used in hunting expeditions and were valued for their strength and ferocity. Bears. Bears were commonly kept as pets in medieval European courts, where they were seen as a sign of strength and power. The bears were often used in jousting tournaments and were also kept in cages for public entertainment. Orangutan. Napoleon is said to have kept an orangutan as a pet, which he allegedly taught to drink wine and attend dinners. The orangutan was reportedly a source of amusement for Napoleon and his guests, but there is little evidence to support the claim that it was actually his pet. Tame wolves. The Scythians, a nomadic tribe of Central Asia, were known to tame wolves and keep them as pets. The wolves were valued for their intelligence and loyalty, and they often accompanied the Scythians on their travels. Egyptian pharaohs. The ancient Egyptians kept baboons as sacred animals and believed that they embodied the god Thoth. The baboons were kept in temples and were fed and cared for by priests. They were also mummified after they died, just like any other important person. Russian nobility. The Russian nobility attempted to domesticate moose in the 18th century and used them as a means of transportation and even in war. However, the project was ultimately unsuccessful, and the moose could not be tamed. What do you think about these pets? Did you know about them? Do you want to learn more about the relationship between humans and animals throughout history? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you like this video, please leave a like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you next time.